Are you patterning the deer or are they patterning you? You freaking smoked him. Give me some. Hey y'all, Mike Cable here with Cables Outdoors, doing a little truck interview, little tips and tricks. Heading up to a spot where I'm going to go swap some SD cards out and check some cameras. I wanted to do this video while I was coming up here because it made me think of, you go all summer, you go scout your spots, you put your mineral blocks and stuff out, you put your cameras up, you put a tree stand, cutting your shooting lanes, all this stuff, and you think you're patterning these deer and you're getting them on camera and everything's looking good and stuff, but at the same time, these deer are patterning you just as quick as you're patterning them, especially these big bucks and these big does. They didn't get big being dumb. You get them on camera, but it's never when you think it's going to be. It's in the middle of the day or in the middle of the night. You keep going back and forth, checking cameras and putting stuff out and checking your food plots, and they're patterning you just as quick as you're patterning them. And one of the biggest things that I learned was patterning you walking. If you think about it, no animal in the woods walks like we do consistently from point A to point B. Squirrels, deer, turkeys, even little finches and stuff hopping around. Everything walks with caution in the woods. They take a few steps, they stop, they listen, they look around. Turkeys scratching, they'll scratch for a few seconds, they stop, listen. Same thing with deer. You watch them, they'll take a few steps, stop and listen, look around. We are the only animals that walk in the woods consistently from point A to point B in one stride. And I've started to change that up. I've started to walk in a little bit, stop for 30 seconds, listen, take a break, just take it all in. I'll wait till the wind picks up, walk a little farther, an airplane flies over. I know a guy, and I thought he was crazy, but I know a guy that takes a mouth call into the woods with him, and he yelps and clucks like a hen. And I thought he was nuts, but if you think about it, it's genius. Deer are used to hearing that. Deer hear turkeys. You get pictures of deer and turkeys together in food plots and stuff all the time. They alert each other. They know they feed off of each other. And when he first told me that, I was like, man, this guy's crazy. And then the more and more I thought about it, I was like, no, dude, this guy's a genius. But, it's just a key to keep with you guys. If you're constantly going in and out of where you're going to hunt and when you're going to your stand and back out, change the way your pattern, change the way you walk, change the way you walk in and out. Some people, I got one spot that I've got one way in, one way out, and it's tough, but I've learned to just take my time getting to my stand, taking a few steps, stopping, listening. Blue jays. I'm a big believer in blue jays will tell on you just like they tell on a deer or a coyote or anything. They will alert the woods. They're a tattletale. And I've learned to listen to them. Last year during muzzleloader season, blue jay just started going off like crazy, like 50 yards down through the woods from me. And I heard him and I started looking, and it wasn't 5 seconds later, here comes a buck bumping the doe down through the woods, and he was following him. He was tailing him. He would fly from limb to limb and holler, and I'm like, he's telling on him. He's telling where the deer are at. Little natural things like that can really change your success and your help in the woods. And another thing, when I said going to and from your stands, your stand placement. I'm a ladder hunter. I'm a ladder stand guy. Just safer for me. I have a couple climbers that I use. It's just more for me to carry in the woods. And if you hunt in Virginia in October and bow season, it's hot. You know, by the time I get set up and I'm in a tree, I'm drenched. I like a ladder stand. They're easy for me to tote in, set up, and they're there. You know, but think about it. Have you ever sat in a stand? You put a stand up and it's good. It's awesome for like 2 seasons. And then it seems like the activity and stuff dies around there the 3rd season and so on and so forth. I learned when I started putting my trail cameras up and I started putting my cell phone cameras up. Back then, when I first started hunting, we didn't have cell cameras. Then they came out with the ones where you had to get the film for them. It took like 20 pictures. You had to go to Walmart and get them developed, you know. So cameras have come a long way, and I have several cell cams now, and they're a game changer. But I noticed, and if you look, I'm sure you'll notice too, I've got cameras in front of my stands, and big does and big bucks, not so much the younger ones, but the big does and the big bucks, I've got pictures. And it'll be like July and August. They will come in front of my camera and they look straight up at my stand. They know it's there. They know where to expect me if I'm there, and they check it on a regular if they cross through there. It's amazing. It blew my mind. But they patterned it. They patterned where my stand was. They knew where to look, and if they felt like something was there, they wouldn't come there. They'd go around, or they take a different path to get to a food source. So what I do is, if I feel like they're starting to pick up on where my stand is, I'll move it. Just not move it completely out the area. I'll move it like 3 trees over, or 4, you know, just move it to a different tree in the exact same area, you know, to throw them off. They're going to notice that it's gone, but they're not going to pick it up directly that, okay, he moved that from this tree to that tree. You know, they're smart, but I'm not going to give them that much credit to where they're going to know exactly where you moved your stand. But that will throw them off from patterning you, and it could fire up a spot that was once good that's dying out because they know where you're at. Guys, just another quick tip and trick that I learned that works really well for me. You can do it with climbers, lock-on saddle hunting. You know, I'm just, like I said, I'm a ladder hunter, and I'm a lock-on stand guy. I like to put my stands up in a good spot, and it's something that I don't have to tote in and out of the woods or carry more in my backpack with all my equipment. So, you know, just riding along today and just wanted to drop in on that tip for you guys. Hope it helps you all out. Let me know. Catch you in the next one.